Hey everyone, it's UnsungNPC back here with another video in Pathfinder Kingmaker. Today's video is something a little bit different. We finished up all the regular classes and some of the modded classes. And this time we're going to be talking about metamagic. What is it? How do we use it? Why do we use it? All the different inner workings of metamagic and the metamagic feats. Okay? I kind of go over them in the video for feats for magic, but we're going to go a little bit more in depth this time because I had a request for it and I figured other people might need to know exactly how it works because honestly, I haven't really used metamagic all that much, even in the tabletop, so I had to do some like digging and I kind of knew how it works, but I had to do some digging to get into it a little bit to fully figure it out because even I haven't used it that much. I usually just forget about it, but we're diving in. Now on these metamagic feats, okay, there's a lot of feats here. Some of them you may not have because some of them come from a mod, the Call of the Wild mod on the Nexus. So all of the elemental ones, and then these ones that their pictures are different colors, all come from the mod. Okay, so all these different colored ones, but like the regular normal looking ones come from the game itself. So we're gonna go over the game ones first, and then I'm gonna go over the modded ones so that people don't have to stick around for it if they don't want to. Okay? So the first one is Empower spell. So an Empower spell, all variable numbers related to like numeric effects related to the spell are increased by half, including bonuses to those rolls. Saving throw and opposed rolls are not affected, nor are spells without random variables. Okay? So it's basically like if your spell does damage dice, then that damage is increased by half. This also increases the level of the spell by 2 levels. Whenever you have a level increase in these metamagic feats, you can only cast a spell if you can reach that level. So if you're trying to cast a level 3 spell that's empowered, that makes it a level 5 spell. So if you can't cast level 5 spells, then you can't cast the empowered spell. Okay? It adds levels to it. There are different feats and class abilities that can negate some of that stuff, but that's what it is in its purest form. Extend spell extends the spell to twice as long as normal. So duration of concentration, instantaneous, or permanent is not affected by this feat. Okay, so if you have to if it's just concentration, or if it's like concentration up to this time, or if it's just instant, or if it's a permanent effect, it's unaffected. But if it says 10 minutes per level, it then becomes 20 minutes per level. It doubles the time. And the spell level increases by 1. Okay? Next is a heightened spell. A heightened spell has a higher spell level than normal, up to the maximum of 9th level. Unlike other metamagic feats, heightened spell actually increases the effective level of the spell that it modifies. All effects dependent on the spell level are calculated according to the heightened level. So this one does increase the spell level, but this is you purposely trying to increase the spell level, and the spell level along with it increases all of the effects of the spell based on that spell level. So if you have a spell that doesn't normally scale with level, then this will make it to where it would then scale with level. Okay, so like your duration would be the equivalent of like all that and the effects of the spell and everything. So that's what heighten does. So obviously the level increases whatever you make it, right? Maximize spell is a better version of empower. Okay, so all variable numeric effects, just like empowered, are maximized. Saving throws and opposals are not. An empowered maximize spell gains the separate benefits of each feat. So if you use maximize and empowered, so empowered increases it by half. Maximize makes it to where you get max damage on your damage dice, or whatever the dice is. Okay, you get max, what you would have rolled if you had rolled max on everything. If you use both, because you can use more than one metamagic feat if you want, then you get both effects. So it becomes maxed, and then you get also added on half of what you would have normally rolled. And the level for this increases by 3. And if you use both, the level increases by 5. Okay? So like you couldn't even maximize and empower a spell above 4th level because there's no such thing as a 10th level spell in this game. If that makes sense. Okay? Next we have Quicken Spell, which I think is pretty self-explanatory. Okay, casting a Quicken Spell is a swift action. You can perform another action even casting another spell in the same round as a Quicken Spell. So if you cast a Quicken Spell as a swift action, you can still cast another spell as a regular action. If you're spell casting, this only works on spells whose casting time is a standard action. If it's 1 round or 1 full round action, it can't be quickened. And this increases the level by 4. Okay? Casting a quickened spell does not provoke an attack of opportunity. That's also something to note. So usually when you cast a spell next to someone, they get an attack of opportunity against you. Or you have to make a concentration check depending on what the spell is. On this one, it wouldn't provoke that opportunity attack. You can apply the effects of this feat to the spell cast spontaneously so long as it has a casting time that is not more than 1 full round action. Okay. Got it. Okay. Reach spell. Reach spell allows you to alter the range. So you go from touch to close, close to medium, medium to long to increase the range by 1 category up. And this only increases the level by 1. Spells modified by this feat that require melee touch attacks instead require range touch attacks. That is an effect added in by the mod Call of the Wild. Owlcat didn't originally put that in, but the mod allows that to happen. Spells that do not have a range of touch, close, or medium do not benefit. So if you have a long range spell, you can't use reach because that's already maximum range. You can't increase it any further, which makes sense. Okay, and that's all of the base game ones. So that's all of the ones in the game. And I've set up a character. We're gonna go in and see what it's like to make a metamagic spell. But before we do that, I kind of want to get into these other metamagic feats. So we have Dazing Spell. So when a creature takes damage from the spell, they become dazed for a number of rounds equal to the original level of the spell. So not the level with the +3 level increase, only the level of the original level. If the spell allows for a saving throw, a successful save negates the daze effect as well. Okay? If it does not allow for a save, the target can make a will save to negate the daze effect, and this only works on damage-dealing spells. Only on damage-dealing spells. Next one are the elemental spells. What these do, it increases your level by 1. Basically, it just makes it to where if you're dealing a spell that has an elemental type, you can change its element to something else. That's what they do. So if you want to make it acid, cold, or electricity, or fire instead of whatever the original element is. Honestly, elemental acid's probably the only one worth getting in this one because acid's a killer element. Killer. Next we have Intensified Spell. An intensified spell increases the maximum number of damage dice by 5 levels. You must actually have sufficient caster levels to surpass the maximum in order to benefit from this feat. Increases the level by 1. Okay. So yeah, you're just increasing the number of damage dice by 5 levels up. And so like a 4th level spell or lower, that's a benefit. I mean, you're still increasing even if you go higher than that, but you're getting less levels out of it because spells only go to 9th level, right? Persistent spell. Whenever a creature targeted by a persistent spell or within its area succeeds on its saving throw against the spell, it must make another saving throw against the effect. Oh, holy cow. Okay. See, if I had been playing with metamagic, this is definitely one that I would use, because I always do saving throw spells. I love being a DC caster, so having them to re-roll their saving throws every single time would be crazy nice. Increases the level by 2. Doesn't work on ones that don't have a saving throw, obviously. Piercing spell. Okay, so this just makes it to where it increases the level by 1, and when you cast a spell, the target has 5 less spell resistance than they usually do. That's all. 5 less spell resistance. Rhyme spell. The frost of your cold spell clings to the target. A rhyme spell causes creatures that take cold damage to become entangled. I would have used this on my Winter Witch if I had known. This is why you look at feats, guys. I just got intimidated by the metamagic, and I was like, I don't want to do it. But this would have been so useful, because I played a Winter Witch, and I had cold spells out my ass. This would have been so useful to me. Only a +1 level increase as well? Ugh. Man, come on. That's so good. Make everyone entangled. All the time. Do it. Toppling spell. If the target takes damage, fails its saving throw, or is moved by your force spell, make a trip check against the target using your caster level plus your casting ability score bonus. Okay. So it has to be with a force spell that you're using on an opponent. Level increased by 1, and you get to make a trip attack or trip check. That's fun. That's kind of fun. I feel like you could just make toppling magic missiles. What? Yeah, just do toppling magic missiles all day and just trip people. Oh man, that sounds like a great time. Oh. Okay. Selective spell. Selective spell is a pretty standard one that I don't know why they didn't put in the game already, but it increases by 1, and it makes it to where whenever you cast a spell that's like an area effect, it doesn't affect your allies. That's what that does. It's a really nice effect. Thranotic spell? Oh. So you can use mind affecting spells on undead. It has a +2 increase level, but you can use it on undead, mind affecting spells. There are some necromancy like archetypes that have abilities that already let you do that, so I don't know about this one. Because if you're going to do necromancy, you need to pick a necromancy archetype. But I guess if not, this is your backup, maybe? Verdant spell. Oh, verdant spell affects plant creatures. Okay, there's also some effects for this in certain classes as well. Plus level 2 increase makes it to where they infect plants as well. Oh, that's not metamagic. Okay. Okay, so that's metamagic. So now we're gonna pick one, and I'm gonna pick. I don't know, reach. I'll do reach spell. Okay. And we're gonna go in the game, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do the metamagic thing. I've only set like one of these up before, and I didn't really use it, so we're gonna have to take a look at this and see what's what, you know. Oh, hello. And I just went on Beneath the Stolen Lands, so we didn't have to deal with like story crap. Okay. So you'll see the metamagic button down here in the bottom. Okay. So you'll click that, and then basically you'll go between your different levels on spells, and you'll just drag the spell here. So if we have reach, right, I'm gonna put corrosive touch in here. Boom. Okay. Reach spell increases by 1. Alright, so we're gonna make this a ranged touch attack spell. Do like a little border action. You can kind of like decorate it the way that you want to. I don't know, you could use different colors for different metamagics if that's how you wanted to organize it. Kind of cool. Yeah, and then is that like okay. Oh wait. Yeah, so then you add, so you have your metamagics up here, and you drag them into these circles. So now the result spell level is level 2, right? So we'll write the spell, and now we have this spell. So what happens is, whenever we eventually get level 2 spell slots, because we can click on it, but we can't use it because we don't have level 2 spells yet. But once we get level 2 spell slots, we can then use this in place of our other level 2 spell slots. Okay, so like, you know, you have your level 1 corrosive touch, but you can also go ahead and use your level 2 corrosive touch, which makes it to where you can use this in range instead. Okay, so again, you click the metamagic button here, you pick the spell you want. Let's do summon monster now. Okay, you put the reach spell in, or whatever other metamagic you're using. It's going to increase the levels. This will be the spell level when it's done. Okay, so you have to be able to cast that spell level to make this worthwhile for you. Put a border around it, decorate it however you want, you know, whatever suits your fancy, okay? And then you just write the spell, and then it's just in your spell book under the level that it now belongs to. So these are now level 2 spells, and they are affected by the reach. So now this is medium range, and this is ranged instead of touch for close range. So I just made those ranges longer like that. So that's how you do all your meta magic stuff. So yeah, Meta Boy. That's how you do meta magic. I hope that was helpful and clear to you. It really is a lot simpler than it seems. Like honestly, when I first looked at meta magic, I was like, oh, that is so complicated, and I don't want to be a part of that at all. No, thank you. Right? So, but it really is simpler than it seems. You just have to like kind of do some planning and figure out what spells you're wanting to do meta magic for. You have to get those meta magic feats, right? And then, you know, plan for like, because they have level increases. You have to take that into account. So just be on the lookout for that when you're messing around with meta magic. It seems a lot more complicated, but it's not. It really is simple. It's just a matter of knowing where to go, right? So knowing to click on this button, you drag the spell over, drag the meta magic in, write the spell, finalized. Okay? So I hope this was helpful to you. Whether you're a new or veteran player, thanks for sticking around my video. I'm glad you're enjoying Pathfinder. It's a great place to be. Keep enjoying it. Wrath of the Righteous is just around the corner. The links for the mods that I use are in my description below. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button for more guides and other content like the Let's Play that's going to start coming out soon. You don't want to miss that. So, thanks for hanging around, guys, and I will catch you guys in the next one.